This is not cottagecore. No florals, no clutter, no deliberate nostalgia. What's left when you strip cottage style down to what actually matters? Warmth, material, scale, and hold it against lines clean enough to be modern. 10 rooms answer that question. Let's go inside. Modern cottage starts with a decision most entryways skip entirely: what to keep from the tradition and what to leave behind. Cottage entryways are usually dense. Hooks, baskets, layered textiles, a bench piled with cushions and coats. All of it is functional, and all of it, left unedited, is exactly what turns a room warm into a room cluttered. Here, the function stays and the density doesn't. A single wide oak bench, one row of matte black hooks, a woven basket underneath, nothing more. The warmth comes from the wood grain left visible, from the fact that nothing has been painted or finished into hiding what it actually is. The modernity comes from restraint, not from removing the wood at all, but from refusing to let a second or third piece of furniture compete with it. This is the smallest room in the apartment, but it sets the rule the other 9 rooms will follow. One material carries the warmth, and everything else gets out of its way. Walk past this bench, and you already know what kind of apartment you're in. The living room is where cottage tradition has always centered on the hearth, a fire, a mantle, a gathering point that the rest of the room organizes itself around. Modern cottage keeps that instinct completely intact because it was never the ornamental part of cottage style that made a hearth feel like the heart of a home. It was simply the fact of gathering around something warm. What changes here is everything that used to surround it. A simple stone or plaster fireplace surround, left bare, no mantle clutter, no framed photographs, no seasonal styling. A low linen sofa sits close enough to feel like it belongs to the fire rather than to the room in general, and one wood coffee table with visible joinery sits between them, its construction left honest rather than disguised under a finish. The room feels anchored the way a cottage living room always has, heavy in the right place, calm everywhere else. But where cottagecore would build outward from the hearth with layered textiles and collected objects, this room stops the moment the essential pieces are in place. Weight comes from material honesty here, not from decoration, and that difference is the entire argument this room is making. Farmhouse table is cottage shorthand almost everywhere it appears. Thick, solid, built to look like it survived several decades of use. Modern cottage keeps that honesty about the material but drops the visual heaviness that usually comes with it. The thick turned legs, the dark stain, the sense of a table built for a much larger room than this one. A solid wood table with a simple straight leg base does the same job with none of the bulk, paired with woven or rush seat chairs finished in a pale, almost bleached tone that keeps the whole grouping light rather than dense. No table runner interrupts the wood grain. No centerpiece competes with the chairs for attention. The room lets the material speak once, clearly, rather than layering texture on top of texture the way a more traditional cottage table setting would. The formality that a room like this needs in a neoclassical apartment is replaced here by something much simpler. The table just needs to feel like it's been used, like a meal actually happens here regularly, not like it's been staged for a photograph. That lived-in honesty, without the visual clutter that usually accompanies it, is the entire modern half of this room's identity. The kitchen is the room most people associate with cottage style before any other, and it's also the room most likely to tip into cottagecore if the editing instinct isn't strict. Open shelving, ceramic crockery displayed in full, exposed beams left dark and heavy. Every one of these elements is authentically cottage, and every one of them, taken past a certain density, stops looking curated and starts looking cluttered. Here, open wood shelving holds a small, deliberately limited set of ceramic pieces. 4 bowls, not 14, arranged with visible space between each one so the eye can actually rest on individual objects rather than scanning a wall of collected clutter. One exposed beam is left as the only architectural cottage signal in the room, rather than a full ceiling of them. The cabinetry underneath stays flat front and simple, painted in a quiet neutral that keeps the room modern from the waist down, even while the shelving above stays warm. The rule that keeps this kitchen from sliding into cottagecore is entirely about restraint on display, showing 3 or 4 pieces on a shelf where a maximalist version of this style would show 15. It's the same wood, the same beam, the same ceramic material. What changes everything is simply how much of it is allowed to be visible at once. A home office has no place in cottage tradition at all. The style predates the desk, the monitor, the need for a dedicated corner where daily work happens inside a domestic space. That absence of precedent makes this room the clearest test in the entire apartment of whether the modern half of this style can actually stand on its own, without anything cottage to lean on. A simple wood desk sits against a plastered wall, its lines straight and unornamented, while one woven shade pendant light hangs overhead as the single warm reference in an otherwise restrained space. Nothing else competes for attention. No gallery wall, no collected objects on the desk surface, no attempt to force this corner into feeling more cottage than the room actually calls for. This is the space in the apartment where clean lines are allowed to lead completely, where modern is doing almost all of the work and cottage is present only faintly, through the wood grain of the desk and the woven texture of the light fixture. It proves something the rest of the tour only implies, that this style doesn't need every room to declare its identity equally. Some rooms just need to function. The window seat is one of cottage architecture's most enduring and most beloved ideas, built into the structure of a home rather than added to it afterward, and modern cottage keeps it almost entirely intact, because the idea itself was never the source of any visual clutter. The idea was always simply a place to sit inside good light. It was the styling layered on top of it. Over the years, that became the problem. A built-in wood window seat holds a single linen cushion, plain and unpatterned, with one small side shelf positioned within easy reach and nothing displayed on it beyond what might actually be in use. Natural light does most of the work in this room, falling across the wood in a way no styling choice could replicate. No layered pillows compete for space on the cushion. No reading blanket is draped for effect rather than actual use. This room proves something the rest of the apartment only argues indirectly, that some cottage elements don't need modernizing at all. They just need editing down to the one idea that made them work in the first place, stripped of everything that accumulated around that idea over time, but was never essential to it. The bedroom is where modern cottage settles into its calmest, most resolved version of itself. Private enough that neither half of the style needs to perform for a visitor, because no one but the person living here will ever really see it. That privacy changes what the room is allowed to prioritize, and here, it prioritizes rest above every other consideration. A simple wood bed frame holds undyed linen bedding, left in its natural, unbleached tone rather than dyed into a curated palette. One ceramic table lamp with a linen shade sits on a single nightstand, providing warm light without becoming a decorative statement in its own right. There's no headboard ornament, no carved detail, no layered throws beyond what's actually needed to stay warm through the night. This is the easiest room in the apartment to get right. And it's easy precisely because rest was always cottage style's original purpose, long before the aesthetic accumulated the wallpaper, the collected objects, and the deliberate nostalgia that now define its more maximalist version. Strip all of that away, and what's left is essentially what this room already is. The bathroom asks the same material question the kitchen already asked, just in a smaller, far more concentrated space where every decision carries more visual weight. How much natural texture can a functional room hold before it stops feeling clean and starts feeling busy? A honed stone or lime wash wall carries the entire textural argument for the room, paired with a simple wood stool that introduces warmth without introducing a second competing material. Brushed brass fixtures stay consistent throughout, not because brass alone signals cottage, but because a single hardware finish repeated without variation is what keeps a small room feeling resolved rather than assembled from mismatched decisions. Notably, there's no exposed beam here. That would be one rustic signal too many for a room already carrying stone or lime wash and wood. The answer this room lands on, and the answer this entire apartment keeps returning to, is one material story rather than two. Stone or wood carries the warmth. Brass carries the consistency. And everything else in the room stays quiet enough that neither one is fighting for the eye's attention. This is the room cottage tradition never let go of, going back generations, and the room modern apartment design usually forgets exists at all. A small utility space that most floor plans hide behind a closet door rather than treat as worth designing intentionally. Open wood shelving holds a small set of woven baskets, sized for laundry and everyday clutter rather than for display, while a simple hook rail runs along one wall at a practical height. The floor is stone or tile, chosen specifically because it can handle where that a softer material couldn't. This is the one room in the apartment where durability outranks warmth as the primary material consideration, and that's by design, not by oversight. Nothing here is decorative, because this room's entire job is function. The one space in the apartment where cottage practicality is allowed to simply be the whole point, with no modern restraint required to hold it back. Keeping it this plain, this unstyled, is actually what makes it modern. A cluttered mudroom, baskets overflowing and hooks doubled up with coats, reads as cottagecore. An honest, uncluttered one just reads as cottage. The tour ends where cottage style has always ended, generation after generation, facing outward toward whatever garden or greenery the home can claim, however small that claim might be in a small apartment. A simple wood bench holds linen cushions in the same undyed, natural tone that's carried through the bedroom and the entryway, tying the room back to everything that came before it without needing to repeat any single element exactly. Potted herbs sit on a narrow shelf near the window, chosen for use as much as for appearance. Natural light floods in here unfiltered by curtain or shade, more directly than in any other room in the apartment. For the first time across all 10 rooms, nothing needs to be edited down further. Modern cottage's entire argument, warmth held inside clean restraint, material honesty without visual clutter, resolves here, in the one room whose only real job is to let the outside in and get out of its way. 10 rooms. No florals, no clutter, no nostalgia for its own sake. Just warmth, kept honest, held inside lines clean enough to belong here now. Subscribe for more small apartment style breakdowns.